Has anybody really talked about Kamala or just Joe?
It's just Joe, and they're talking about the Democrat policies. They're actually doing a pretty good job talking about the platform. And I just throw it on in the background in the morning when, I'm up at 5 and working on stuff. So
the reason why I say that is because if everything's focused on Joe and she comes up there, they've sort of wasted a week if they didn't put them together. You know what I'm saying?
I've been saying that for months.
Okay. We've been on that for the whole time. What the Democrats are going to try to do, imagine the Indiana Jones meme where it's like you switch out the head with the other head. It's like, we're going to have all the same horrible policies that have made America awful. We'll get rid of Joe. We'll put in this person. And then this person will say, oh, well, yeah, they won't do the dumb stuff Joe did.
I was talking to my guys. I'm like, enough with the Biden clips, man. We know he's a potato. Let's start talking about the policies and, a replacement or whatever. But this isn't every clip I see of Joe Biden says RNC research on the top.
Right.
And I'm like, come on, guys, man, focus on the long term. This guy ain't going to last. Look at him. Look at
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Democracy in action. My name is Wayne Dupree. I'm the host of this awesome ragtag fleet of patriots. And let me introduce my awesome co-host, the godfather of conservative radio, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Hello, everybody. Just glad to be here. And what can you say?
Buckle up. Buckle up. We got the Imam of Minnesota, Mr. Jason Robinson.
Happy Monday, everybody. Guys, are we doing a short show? I don't think there's anything to talk about, really, is there? Like nothing going on or whatnot?
You know what? As much as I wanted to go live this weekend, I couldn't stay away from watching all this happen. So it's like, I gotta watch. I gotta check. Dude, I spent all day yesterday watching news. I haven't done that in a long time. I have not. As you know, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, he took your advice. He took your advice. He's out. And for 30 minutes, nobody really knew. And then he came out and endorsed Kamala Harris.
Is he even alive?
Yeah, I was going to say his intern endorsed Kamala Harris.
Nobody's seen him in 4 days since they said he had COVID.
I really think, I'm gonna pop this in real quick because actually I kind of thought about it before it even played. But I think
just had a brief conversation with Frank Biden, one of President Biden's two younger brothers, and here's what he told us. He said, "I'm incredibly proud of my brother. Selfishly, I will have him back to enjoy whatever time we have left. He is a genuine hero. Country over self. It sounds corny in our cynical political environment, but he nor I are cynical. The goal remains the same: defeat Trump and continue the work that Joe has done. My hope is that our party rallies around this heroic act. We ask."
He's dead.
Time we have left. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. We were talking for a little bit while we were watching this. And I was like, I don't think he's going to last the rest of the year. And if he does, I don't think he's going to last within a year. I really don't. Because what did he say last week or something? Unless there's a special health thing for me to get out. Because we all know Joe. You've watched this on the show. The dude wasn't getting out. He doesn't like Barack Obama. He doesn't want nobody telling him what to do and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, not only Hutch didn't, not only did he do up this letter on a piece of paper that didn't even look like it came from the White House and whatnot. Not only did he do that, he didn't even tell Kamala until yesterday.
And the signature didn't match.
You know?
It wasn't an official letterhead. Signature didn't match.
It was in the Twitter.
Well, you know what happens when you get older. You know, you lose your signature anyway.
Yeah, but he underlined
you can copy. You can look at the ones on his executive orders. You know, I'm telling you, this
is the card, man.
This isn't. I just want to throw a warning out there. Thank goodness for Democrat racist, or Kamala wouldn't even be considered. I don't think there's people in this country that the most important thing is that she's black, and that's just is what it is. You heard them talking already.
The Democrats,
yeah, the Democrats, and so that's going to make it harder. But I'm telling you, man, where we're at right now at the Democrat convention, think of this. All of the delegates are now unpledged. All of them. So anything can happen. I'm looking at the two factions of the Democrat Party, the Obama and Biden faction. They hate each other. And you got the Clinton side that already endorsed Kamala. This is going to be an unprecedented few months. That's all I can say. It's never happened before.
Right. Jason, hold on. Before you weigh in, listen to what Hush just had to say just a while ago. I also came up with the analysis that that Obama, it hasn't come out yet because he's trying to find the perfect VP because mostly everybody's already said that a lot of Obama's people are behind Biden anyway. So, even though both of them hate each other,
that's
if Kamala brings on more of Obama's people from initially, it's going to be hard for him not to endorse her, right?
Well, yeah, I think what's happening is you're seeing the Clintons and the Obamas, let's just put them at the heads. You know, Clinton probably represents the corporatists and Obama represents the communists.
Yep.
And those are kind of the two factions, kind of like standard Republicans. It's the military industrial complex and the corporates. And so they're fighting behind the scenes. And they had the real poll numbers with Joe Biden. And that's why they threw Joe Biden from the bus. Like, they saw the numbers. They're like, there's no way we can do any shenanigans to make it even plausible that he wins. So they're doing the switcheroo, and everybody endorsing Kamala and whatnot. Doesn't matter, because 7 days ago or 7 hours ago, they were all endorsing Joe Biden. And no, we shouldn't switch. So they're going to get real numbers. Kamala will get some exposure. She's doing an event right now. They'll see how her numbers look going into the convention. And if her numbers look as bad as I think they will when America gets another look at Kamala, because they've kind of forgot about her a bit, the normies. But when they get another look and the real numbers come in bad, like Hutch is right. The convention, there is no guarantee that Kamala Harris is going to be your Democrat nominee.
Now, they made it hard, though, because Clyburn endorsed her.
Yesterday, right. He sure did.
And that's almost a done deal. But there's, again, we got to watch these next couple months because, for one thing, just understand there are no coincidences.
Right.
They didn't just come up with this yesterday.
Well, yeah, right. But then they didn't let her in on it because
she's irrelevant.
Yeah, because and what better person to put in the White House than a puppet? I was watching her before we even joined the show, and she was speaking with the national champions of college and whatnot. And she looked good. I'm not going to lie, she looked good. And I was telling my friend yesterday, I was like, if she can read without adding a whole lot of stuff, if she can read what's up there, she's going to look more presidential than anybody that you've ever seen before. And she looked good reading what was there on the thing. And then she just stepped back and, she didn't answer any questions or whatnot from the media because Biden is supposed to be speaking later on in.
CGI Biden. They're breaking out the robot or something.
He was coughing a lot during that press conference. I thought he was going to fall out a couple weeks ago. But no, when it comes to, because, you know, I'm watching all these people yesterday, especially Tommy Learn. It's going to be Gavin. It's going to be Gavin. Girl, it ain't going to be Gavin Newsom.
It's not going to be Gavin.
It's not going to be Gavin. It's going to be Gavin. Mark my words. I was like, y'all listening to this? It's not going to be. And then Gavin was like, nope, I'm behind Kamala. I was like,
yeah, but
I'm
Kamala,
tell y'all.
I'm going to say, I think there's still a shot for Gavin.
I don't.
I said that months ago. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. But this, Kamala was all in for Joe. Everybody was all in for Joe, you know.
Kamala has problems in Pennsylvania.
And
she has
that's
big problems in Pennsylvania because she already came out. She's 100% ready to ban fracking.
Yep.
But from what I hear, Shapiro, look, but I asked you last week about Shapiro. Shapiro's the governor of Pennsylvania. Is he? I mean, from the reports, yeah, but from reports it said he's popular up there. I mean, they even interviewed some of those Pennsylvania people up there, and the Pennsylvania people were like, well, I don't know if we want him to be vice president because, you know, he's popular around here. Is he that popular up there?
I mean, with half the state, I can't stand him.
Well,
you know what I mean? But the problem with Shapiro is the Democrat Party. Shapiro's a Jew.
Right. I saw that too. Right.
Oh, I think Walz from Minnesota. I mean, I'm from Minnesota. I could see him being kind of sneaking in there. Gretchen Whitmer. You've got all these crappy Democrat governors, you know, in swing states. I could totally see him picking any, but I don't know how they pick a white dude. You know, I think if they pick a white dude, that opens a door that they can replace Kamala with a white dude in the right set of circumstances.
The problem we have, our people are out there all saying that, and look, man, there's right and there's wrong, and then there's winning an election. Okay, they're not all the same. But you got people on our side calling for Biden to resign right now. I mean, calling it loud, and it's like, stop it.
I know.
Then we got to run against an incumbent president.
Yep. She will be president of the United States.
And that might be her ticket out.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, actually, you don't have to admit that y'all made a mistake during the RNC convention. Just let it go. Focus on her. And for me, I think you should focus on her policies. Focus on what she hasn't done. Focus on how bad the country is. Y'all can win on that alone.
I don't think they should personalize it. I think they should say every single one, no matter who it is that gets in there from this group of communists, they're going to do this.
What was her first job she got in the administration? Border czar. And what's the single worst issue in the country right now?
But I read too, right? But I also read too, and we sort of saw it with Trump and Pence. Trump put Pence in charge of the COVID thing. Yet Trump got out there every day and took charge of the whole thing. Same thing with Kamala, or watching some news things yesterday. You can only do what the president allows you to do. I mean, everybody knows that the vice presidential, other than Cheney, the vice presidential thing is a ceremonial type of thing anyway. That's why she's out there right now with the national basketball champions and stuff. And Biden is still in Delaware sucking on air. I want you to watch this. This is a former MSNBC host. And I think that the Democrat Party, this is why I think it's going to be Kamala Harris. And I've always thought it was going to be Kamala Harris, to tell you the truth. But this young lady put it to words.
Okay, the fact that I'm even on here looking like this on a Sunday, I just want to say it would take a lot of balls for somebody to try to stand between Vice President Kamala Harris and the presidency. I want to issue this warning. You do not want it to be black women versus Democrats. Black women are fighters. We are the base. It would be highly disrespectful and out of pocket for someone to try to leapfrog over Vice President Kamala Harris right now. And I have to say, most of the black women, I've talked about myself, I have to say most of the black women I know, we are mother exhausted with everything that we do to uphold this country and are summarily, routinely dismissed. I'm just telling you, buckle up, guys, because it's going to be a long few months until Election Day. Welcome home, y'all.
God bless you.
Look, I saw that. I saw that over a year ago. I knew that's where it was going. That's why I said you're not going to sidestep her. I mean, she might lose, but let her lose. Don't remove her, because if you remove her, then it's going to be, well, actually, you can remove her. That's just a super major loss. Now, I mean, all of those reports are how black women are continue to be the power in the Democrat Party. You claim that you're already losing black men. Move Kamala. You're gonna have to change the name of the Democrat Party.
Here's how
it won't be a party anymore.
Here's how crazy this is. They know Kamala Harris can't win.
Oh yeah,
and they're going to sit. They're going to fall on this sword anyway, because it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is it's got to be her. It can't be a white guy. It can't be anybody else. It has to be her. You know, good. Go with that. Go with that and destroy your party. I'm going to love watching it.
Exactly. Right. Oh my God. I just can't wait for Kamala Harris to get in front of crowds.
But you know what? I do have a issue with what you were talking about not an issue. I have my idea of the convention, because I think for the next few weeks, it's going to be neck and neck. Even though it's a lie, I think it's going to be neck and neck. I think that the polls are going to be neck and neck. And after she gets up there and reads the convention speech for accepting the nomination and stuff, she's going to be up.
You'll know before.
She's going to be up by 6 or 7 points. I'm telling you, because she's going to look good doing it. She's not going to fumble reading it. She's going to look presidential. The same thing that they did with Barack Obama when he talked about race, and they said it's the greatest thing since Gettysburg Address and stuff. It's the same thing that they're going to do to her.
Sure.
And that's why, I mean, she's not going to come out of that convention looking bad. She's not. Unless she cackles her way on to the stage and cackles her way through the speech and cackles after the speech. If she gets up there and reads what they prepared for her and talks about abortion and talks about the women's rights and talks about adding more people to the Supreme Court to bring back Roe versus Wade, whatever stuff, she does that, her numbers are going to go up. And one more thing, because I've had all weekend think about this.
Wayne's on fire.
I am because
Split Rock coffee.
I went fishing.
A lot of people want to know, why did this happen now? It happened because Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are on the campaign trail, like we told you. After the convention, they're going on the campaign trail. Now you don't hear really that much about it, because for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be Kamala Harris, her donors,
That's the first thing you're going to hear. That's the first thing you're going to hear this week. You're going to hear that Kamala Harris got a ton of money. Right.
Oh, she did yesterday.
Yeah, 50 million.
Nearly 50 million within 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was 25 within 5 hours. But it's like, there you go. It's like this, I mean, just all you're going to hear is her.
But
all you're going to hear is her.
Don't fret, ladies and gentlemen. We got the winning ticket. Don't forget that part. We got to fight. Huh?
I got to ask you something, though.
Sure.
Because J.D. Vance was ready to go up against Kamala Harris. Now it looks like he's going to go up against a seasoned governor.
No problem.
Okay.
J.D. Vance, he graduated Yale in 2 years.
Yeah, but ththese governors have a whole lot of experience.
First of all, if it's Shapiro won't debate him.
Right.
Shapiro's 5'3". He's not going to debate him. He wouldn't debate Mastriano because he didn't want to be on stage.
Out, baby.
He'd get knocked down. I have faith in our ticket. I do.
Okay.
I have to.
Well, they better stop looking like weaklings then.
Well, they should start listening to us.
Right.
Coming out there talking about
I can't believe
Joe Biden needs to resign. Listen, there were 4 presidents, y'all. There were 4 presidents. LBJ dropped out. He didn't resign when he didn't seek the nomination. Truman didn't resign when he didn't seek the nomination. Roosevelt, Teddy, didn't resign when he didn't seek it. And Calvin Coolidge didn't resign when he didn't. So, I mean, y'all, stop asking for him to leave. Let him. Okay, fine. You know what? Do what you want to do. Do what you want to. Johnson, Speaker Johnson, bring up the charges. Bring up the what you call it. Get Joe out. Next few minutes after that, I solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution and stuff. And then you're gonna have the first Black woman president. And I don't know how many times I've said this too, because a whole lot of people don't want to believe me. Democrats run on first
Right.
of that. They want it for the record books because then they can run on that stuff later. You remember, we were the first to do this. We were the first to do that. That's what they love to do, y'all.
It'd be funny if they told the truth. We were the first one to elect a Jamaican and Indian woman.
Right.
We were the first one to hang blacks. We were the first one to burn black towns.
I wanted to have a coup against a sitting president.
I was going to say, I can't believe some of the Democrat, like, I'd be curious what the real Democrat voters, not the talking heads or the politics. I mean, they were denied a primary. You should have had RFK Jr. up there, Kamala. You should have had all those people up there talking about who to be president. They took it away, and their elites right now are sitting in a back room deciding who's going to be the presidential nominee.
And we did talk about that a couple months ago too. They were like, well, actually, we thought it would probably happen during the convention. They did it now.
Yep.
How do you remove Joe and just replacing with somebody else after everybody has voted?
Right.
They just did it.
Yes, they did.
They just did it because they can't.
It's not the first time.
Right. No,
it's not the first time. But you look at the Democrat Party, you've got basically 2 wings in it. You've got the Marxist wing and you got the liberal Democrat wing. And Hillary Clinton represents the liberal Democrats. Obama and his people and Bernie Sanders represent the Marxist. They took it away from Bernie Sanders too. He was winning the primary, if you remember.
Yes, he did. Right.
There's death blows between those 2 brands of a Democrat.
Right. Like I say, I just can't believe a normal Democrat. I mean, does this have a side effect where a bunch of Democrats that would have supported RFK are like, I just can't do Kamala? They took, let's face it, if they ran a primary, who's their nominee? RFK Jr. I mean, I would bet money on that. And the Democrat establishment's taken that away, and they're in the back smoke-filled room deciding who's going to be the new president or who's going to be the president or nominee.
There's a report pro Nikki Haley super PAC. They're throwing their support behind Kamala Harris.
No.
Yeah.
Never forget this, folks. There's people in the Uniparty on the Republican side that will do anything they can to block President Trump.
Right.
I didn't misspeak. I'm talking Republicans.
Yeah. Yep. But let's see. What else do I have for you? Oh, yeah. This happened this morning.
Here's J.D. Vance on if the president can't run, should he be out now? Watch.
You'd investigate the people that hid Joe Biden's condition?
Well, I think somebody has to look at it. Look, you had people that lied to the American public. And I tell you what, you ought to take a look at his doctors because his doctors keep giving him this wonderful report. I'm not a doctor. But I saw him the other day, was unable to get up the children's stairs going into Air Force One.
Is it a coup against Joe Biden?
It's sort of, yeah.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president. And if they want to take him down because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for Democrats. If it's an actual problem, they should take care of it in the appropriate way.
I mean, I feel like you just look at this two ways, Ainsley. If you're looking from what's best for the country, if a president cannot run a campaign, then he can't be the president of the United States.
Problem with
but
that
if you're
is,
looking at the political way of it, then you say it gives Kamala Harris a bump by making her president.
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
He hasn't been running the country
for
the last 3 years, 3.5 years. So whatever's going on behind the scenes, they all think is working right now until he stands up on that debate stage, and then they have to go, different path. But here's the problem: if the cabinet invokes the 25th Amendment, then Kamala becomes president. She will run as an incumbent.
Right.
She would be the first female black president. And she would run again, and that would be a big deal for women. So they have to be careful with this one, I think, because the political process needs to play out in a fair way. This lady was one of the first to drop out, if not the first. And then she gets picked to be VP, and then she would become the president without the people having to vote. I mean, that would be the luckiest son of a gun ever.
That's House of Cards, man. House of Cards. But J.D. Vance talked about Biden's mental acuity. Here's the deal. He's saying what we're all saying. But then again, we're all speculating. We can say it because we're seeing it with our eyes, so we can speculate with our eyes. There's no facts to say that it's a mental thing. It could be a chest thing. It could be, he says he has COVID. Maybe his lungs are filling up. We don't know. We don't know. But as I said, I gave you 4 presidents that stayed in office after they said that they weren't going to run. Truman, who was it? Truman had a 22% approval rating. 22.
Korean
the
War
lowest ever.
Korean War will do that for you.
Korean War. LBJ had King and Kennedy who were killed in that year, and the Vietnam War. They didn't resign, and 4 things about these, and Trump is still with us, by the way. 4 things about these people that dropped out and didn't seek the nomination. The person who had preceded them were assassinated. Johnson had Kennedy, who was killed. Truman, the one before him, was FDR. Roosevelt, McKinley, and there was somebody else.
How did their replacement fare in the elections?
The only one that lost to the next party was LBJ.
Okay.
Nixon came in as a Republican because the Democrat replacement was bad. And actually the whole atmosphere was bad. The country was torn. So
the president would have been RFK if he wouldn't have killed him.
Right.
Yes, it would have been. It would have been.
Or could have been.
Yeah.
Boy, has there ever been a worse presidential candidate than Kamala Harris? And don't get me wrong, there's a chance she wins. Like, she's gonna fire up the liberal base, the single cat women, all the people that had BLM stickers on their car. They don't care. They'll plug their nose and vote for Kamala, and they might do it happily. But I'm just saying, if you look, has there been a less qualified person to run for president? I don't think so.
On the merits, I don't think so. Just in, former VP Pence praises President Biden.
Of course he does.
He's endorsing Kamala Harris.
Last week, I said, do I still have the photo? Where do these Republicans go? I think they go under Kamala Harris.
Listen to this. the West, because you like the West Wing. The West Wing creator Aaron Sorkin endorses Kamala Harris moments after endorsing Mitt Romney.
Yep. He came out basically and said what Kamala Harris should do for VP is pick somebody outside of the Democrat Party, like sort of in the West Wing type of deal.
That could happen, man. That could
sure could.
Adam
Liz Cheney?
Liz Cheney.
Yep. Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, any of those guys. I mean, if it depends on how desperate they are to hold on to power. I mean, you could see there's some scenarios where it becomes a formidable ticket. Not that any of us or any of our audience would vote for it, but I mean, you've got a big. I mean, it's going to be decided by 5% of the population. 45% is going to vote one way, 45 is going to vote the other. It comes down to who turns out and a small percentage. But yeah, I mean, you throw on a Mitt Romney, a Nikki Haley, something like that, Liz Cheney.
I don't think this is a normal election cycle. I think we have more than we think we do. I mean, when you look at what's happened, they tried to kill my man. The economy. I went to McDonald's this morning and got a #1 meal and an order of pancakes, and it was $13.
You know what? I knew you were going to say over $12. I knew it. That's ridiculous.
It is.
Be $5.
I need a $20 bill to get breakfast.
That's messed up. That is messed up.
The standard used to be $5 for breakfast.
Exactly. That's what I said.
For years and years and years.
Yep.
I'm just saying I mean, we've said on this show, you're going to see things you've never, ever seen before.
And the pancakes.
And we've been right. I mean, Joe Biden jumping out. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Man, I couldn't believe, dude, I sat there until last night and watched it. I was like, I can't believe this stuff is happening like this.
The stories, man, at Senator Coons crying on the air.
Van Jones was crying. I watched him. I was like, bruh, are you serious?
Yes.
I was like, oh.
And it's Joe Biden. He is, take out the mental incapacity because he's old as whatever. He is a horrible person.
Oh, has been forever.
We've never had a more racist.
And they tried to sainthood him yesterday.
Right.
Oh, they will. I do that. I wanted to talk to you guys, but I was unplugged. But I was like, now we're going to have to sit here and listen to all the people that their fingerprints are all over the dagger in this guy's back, talking about how great he was for the country and for the party. And shut up.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
You know what I'm least looking forward to is Kamala Harris is terrible. Kamala Harris says bad things. Kamala Harris slept her way into politics. All these are true. But when you start criticizing Kamala Harris, they're going to start calling us racist and misogynist again. I hate that part.
I'm past that.
I am too. And it doesn't faze me, but it's just so tiresome that people,
it shows you how weak they are.
Right.
Yeah, but it also shows our side how weak we are too, because she's easily to be beat. You don't have to.
Our side has to toughen up. Our side has to toughen up.
Yeah,
we got to quit. We got to. I'm not apologizing for myself to anybody.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, get Trump on the debate stage. Kamala, what did you do with the border? What did you do with this? What did you do with that? She hadn't done nothing.
Nothing.
What do you think about, Kamala, what do you think about marriage, specifically Willie Brown's marriage?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time to go dirty now. It's time.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I think it is. I think it is.
I know. I mean, I know.
I think the problem with that is that swing vote that you need to win.
The independents.
They're not going to be moved by the fact Kamala Harris banged Willie Harris.
They're not.
They don't care. They don't care that there's rumors she was a high-priced call girl and that's how she's got in the circle. They don't care.
They're looking at their groceries, man.
Yep.
These people are looking at the they're looking at the gas. They know what Trump did for America when he was president.
Those independents know that too.
I'm talking about the independents. I ain't talking about anybody else. I'm talking about the independents. The independents know this. However, and it's something that I've seen on TV as long as I've been in politics. They don't like the back and forth. They don't like the fight, the name calling and stuff like that. Whenever they're interviewed and stuff, I've always watched them when they answer this stuff and everything. Well, they're just like each other, you know. It's like, ugh. And for me, I'm like, no, we're nothing like them. We're nothing like that, you know. And President Trump, I have said that that we had radical people on our side. And many people online have said, no, we don't. No, we don't. But President Trump came out over the weekend and said we do. Trump said it. I didn't say it. Trump. Well, actually, I did say it, but I got not really shut down, but you know, a whole lot of people did say some stuff. Trump himself said it. We got people on our side that's the opposite of the radical people on that side. I was like,
and I'm one of them.
I said that.
I mean, the thing is the definition of radical on the left.
He said
on the
opposite of them. That's what he said. Trump.
Opposite of who?
The radical Democrats.
He is saying there are people that are just as
bad,
polarized, just with an inverse opinion.
But the thing is that to be radical on our side, you have to believe in the Constitution.
Right.
To be radical on the left, you're a communist. You know, there's extremes to both ends. I take no quarter when it comes to the Constitution. I don't think there should be abortion. I'm not going to enter that into a campaign.
Here's what he said.
And you know, the other side's going around trying to make me sound extreme, like I'm an extremist. I'm not. I'm a person with great common sense. I'm not an extremist at all. Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation.
There you go. I mean, I'm with him. I mean, and I've been like that for a long time. I'm like, see, because I'm still Constitution. I still think that the Constitution, the conservative platform, well, the former conservative platform, is what the country should be built on and should roll with. That's what I believe. I just don't believe that you have to be angry about it to do it. I think that the proven solutions are enough if you have people who want to work hard to show America that they really do work. We didn't have people that would work hard to show that the plans work. They just tried to shortcut everything. That's what I think that he wants to do. I think that he wants to show that his plan, the one he put out over Project 2025, will work to get America back on track. But, you know, when I saw that, I was like, that's where I've been. That's what I've been saying for a long time. Which brings, with him saying this, he looks more like a uniter, though, with him saying that.
That was the mission of his speech.
Yeah. He looks more like a uniter saying, okay, listen, we got that side, we got that side. I'm telling you, this is my plan. This is going to make America do the right thing, period.
But see, the left defines a radical as MAGA. You know, that's what they think. They think we're all extremists.
If you
anger is an emotion. It's not a policy.
Right.
See, I will admit I'm an extremist.
Me too.
I want him to go in and 70% of the federal government shut down. I want to arrest all the corrupt politicians. I want everybody in the House and Senate to go through the same investigation process that Donald Trump did, because I think we would need to build a new jail. I think we need to move federal courts out of somewhere polarized like DC. I mean, I want all those things to happen. I'm not running for president. And that wouldn't be the platform that would get elected. But
right.
I'm completely when the left wants to call us extreme, I am extreme. You know, cut my federal income taxes. Let's pull out of these other countries. Let's build a border wall. All that I am great with. Now, can you get it done?
My thing is, all those things I can agree with. I just don't think that you need to be all out there in the front saying it. I think that you get elected, you can do whatever you want to do.
That's the mission right now, is getting elected.
Okay.
You're right.
I mean, I just don't think that throwing up. I mean, even I saw this thing where Marjorie Taylor Greene was responding to something. She said, "Well, you know, sometimes I do say some things." I was like, I can't believe she said that. You know, it's like, dude, you don't have to be AOC. You don't. You can still get your stuff done.
Oh my God! Can we agree? The first Republican that mentions abortion, we just go pick up and throw in the trunk of a car. Like,
I mean, you know, I'm so pro-life. I got 5 grandkids, man. But don't talk about it.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about abortion, start on December 1st.
Yeah. It's coming.
The culture has accepted abortion largely, and it's never going to be a nationwide issue. It's best solved state by state until we figure out what's best for America. You know, let it be a state by state thing. Let some states kill a bunch of their babies. Let conservative states not do that and continue producing. The problem will work itself out. But, you know, Lindsey Graham's going to be coming out in a week and, hey, guys, you know, let's talk about this 6 weeks again.
Did you see him over the weekend watching TV with Rupert Murdoch? A picture came out. I think it was a Trump rally. But he's sitting there watching whatever he was watching. He's watching it with Murdoch, and they're both.
Murdoch wanted Burgum.
It might have been the J.D. Vance when he announced that.
Yeah, he wanted Burgum. And it's like Soros' son is back in Kamala Harris.
Huma's husband.
No. Did you know she's still married to Wiener?
Still?
Yeah, their divorce isn't finalized.
Nice.
Oh, so she's playing
2 Jews.
She's playing hide the hot dog with Soros.
Well, and if you're a Democrat right now too, you don't have to endorse Kamala, but you can't come out against her. I mean, she is a strong black woman, even though she's Indian Jamaican. And anybody that says, well, maybe you are going to see, they're going to get turned on. They're going to find the gold bars in their jacket.
This is a gift. I mean, I don't know how this is going to end. I'm not going to lie, but this is still a gift.
But you see Jason, you're right. It's a freaking gift, and Republicans are trying to give it back. They're trying to give it back. Joe needs to resign. Shut up. Shut up.
There's there's wrong, and there's elections, man. They're not the same.
Y'all gonna have Joe next month fumbling his way over a speech at the DNC convention, and that would have sealed it. But you kept on calling for it. Y'all made it an issue. Okay, fine. Now he's gone. And once he left, now you're seeing people online. Why now? Where is he at? Why isn't he in front of the camera? You got what you wanted. You got him out before the DNC convention, and now all of a sudden it's conspiracy.
I'm just wondering how sick Joe Biden really is.
That's what I was going to say. I'm thinking that, man, this is maybe this didn't happen the way we think it happened. Maybe he's a vegetable.
Well,
I haven't seen him in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
Well, and if you remember, Laura Loomer got mocked like a week or two ago where she said there was a medical emergency on a plane. Everybody's like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And now reports are coming out after his trip to Las Vegas that he had a medical emergency. But I mean, you saw him going up and down the steps. He wasn't in good shape. And we haven't seen a peep from him since. And so he might really be, I mean, prayers out to Joe Biden. He's not dead. But I mean, he might really be sick. And that might have been ultimately what they just couldn't put him back together.
That's what I'm thinking. He's laying in a bed somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think we can comment. Should he?
He's dreaming. He's
Should
dreaming
he
like
step away or not? I mean, I just want to see the guy. You know,
he's dreaming about old Confederates. His old Confederate.
He's dreaming about lunch with Strom.
Well, and I'm waiting till
Uncle shooting him while he's in the hospital pain.
I mean, I'm waiting until they wake him up and he's like, okay, I gotta go get on the get on the campaign trail. And they're like, Joe, we told you we replaced you with Kamala. You know,
I told you. You know what? Somebody's going to tell him when they tell him that he quit, he's going to be pissed.
Right.
Well, I'm sure he's going to look to his wife. His wife's going to say, yeah, it's true. So, you know, I mean, somebody else was like, I wonder what they promised Jill, because Jill is probably the one that gave the okay for that. But she had to be a
If they even did.
He could have collapsed physically so bad that he didn't. And I got to say, like Wayne, you were one of the early ones who went through the Obama birth certificate. Look at that letter. Like, dude, that ain't his signature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you went through but I mean, if you look at that letter, it was funny. We were out with some of my business partners. We were having a little event on the weekend, and holy cow, look at the news that broke. And I went, I looked at that letter, and I'm like, all the things, no letterhead, no seal. And the signature, he underlined it, which people don't like. It's one thing if your signature looks different, but you don't do like something you've never signed your name with before. It's just weird. I don't know what the deal is, but and even I think choice of words. I mean, he didn't tell his staffers. He had the head of his campaign was on the news an hour before it was announced, saying, I don't know why people keep talking about this. Joe's going to be the thing. Staffers are coming out saying they found out on Twitter. Like, something is really weird. I don't know what it is.
Right after they try to kill Trump.
Right.
Well, again, you barely hear about Trump and Vance rally over the weekend. Right. That it was big.
Somebody told
in Michigan, and then next day wiped off, gone. You don't hear nothing about it. And the Dems are going to milk this for the next month and a half. And Lord knows when they get the VP choice, because for me now, I think Trump and Vance will. Do I think Trump is going to win? Yeah, sure. How much? I don't know. Do I think that they would have had a serious challenge if it was Kamala Harris and a Latino? Yes. If it's a white dude, Trump and his partner will probably defeat that.
Don't underestimate the fact that Michelle Obama is black too. You know, I'm not saying that she's going to come in. I've heard stories she said she won't.
Roger Stone.
But Barack Obama did not endorse Kamala Harris, and there's a reason for that. It's either he's keeping his powder dry till 2028, or they got a plan.
The plan is to get some of his people in there and his VP pick, so that he could puppeteer so that he could puppeteer that VP.
Well, I think it's safe to say Joe Biden, whatever you think was going on behind the scenes, the reason he's ultimately gone is either he collapsed so much physically and died, or the numbers they see that you and I never get to see are so bad, they're like, we can't even make this look plausible. So they had to pull the pin. The same's going to happen with Kamala. I mean, if her numbers are really bad, they'll switch her out.
And their numbers are bad.
Right. I mean, there's going to be a bump. There's going to be a 7-day we'll see a poll where Kamala's leading Trump by 5 nationally.
I know it's going to happen right after the
100%.
convention. I mean, look, I'm already prepared. It's going to be tied, or she's going to be up 1 or 2 before the convention, and then she's going to get a 5 to 6 point bump after the convention, and then when the debates happen, then it might bring them back because then she won't have the teleprompters telling her what to say. So now it's a off the teleprompter response and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to bring them back down to this. I think it's easier to steal with her on top.
100%.
I think and believe me, that I'm to all the voters, please vote, do what you have to do. I'm not saying that the election is going to be. I say it's easier to steal with her on top than it would have been.
Kamala Harris beats Donald Trump. Elections in this country are over.
Right.
Well,
hey, just one thing too to jump in. Like I see a lot of people in the chats talking about Cheadle testifying right now. We'll get to that. That's
the wrong person that's testifying.
It is the wrong person, to tell you the truth. I mean, for me, yeah. Thank you for bringing it up, because why is it always that when they bring somebody up there from the government, is always doing an investigation, so that the response is always, well, I can't answer that because we're in an investigation. It's always like that. Why? Y'all know, okay, y'all know that they're doing the investigation right now, or at least that's what they're saying. That's what they get away with, so that nothing happens, because it's so when when a male and female gets up there and they ask the question, wow, Senator, Representative, I had to get back with you. We're still in their investigation for that. It's always like that,
especially when they kill somebody.
Always.
Well, I mean, here's the end conclusion. This hearing is meaningless. You're going to have all these sound bites. They're not going to say anything of substance. Anybody with a functioning brain cell can only land on 2 conclusions. Conclusion 1, the Secret Service is so inept and so decrepit and so top to bottom screwed up that this kid was able to do what he did. In which case, you fire everybody in the Secret Service. I mean, you got to burn it down if that's how bad they are. The second conclusion is the Secret Service was in on it, which means you need to get rid of the
That's the answer right there. It's the second one, not the first one.
Yeah, I'm saying if you don't believe the second one, the only thing you can land on is they were so inept they should all be fired.
Yeah, and they're not that inept. They're bad, but that was their B team. They could have put a class team together.
Right.
You know what I mean? This was the Secret Service. I'm listening to people from the law enforcement in Butler. The Secret Service wouldn't even listen to them.
Yep.
You know, they got encrypted radios on their own frequency. You had to call the Butler Emergency Management Institute so they could ask the Secret Service, and then after a while they might get back to you or might not. They had all that information from the beginning, and an hour before it.
Well, now she's testifying that the building 100 yards away from the president wasn't on their secure perimeter, even though there's people inside the building. None of it adds up. She's either horribly incompetent, and I, of course, am the resident conspiracy theorist. I think it was an inside job. I think people were paid off to let that, and I don't know who's behind it, but somebody paid off the Secret Service to let the kid get up there and take a shot. And look at the graphics. The shot wasn't supposed to miss. We're supposed to be living in a different America today. Thank God. God intervened, made Trump move his head that far. And that's why Joe Biden's out.
And they destroyed all the evidence. You know what? I drove by that place yesterday on my way home from my camp. I drove past. I put my finger out the window, gave it to him, and came on back. But there was supposedly 2 shooters. Remember I was talking about that water tower?
I heard about that.
I'm starting to hear people say that now, that there was there was that first 3 rounds, and that's what almost hit Trump, but it didn't. The guy that got killed was hit by a different burst, and we'll never see the ballistics. We'll never know. You know, they destroyed all that information. These people are enemies.
Yeah, I mean, they had somebody with
I kept seeing that water tower too, and I was like, and I just kept focusing, and I'm trying to see what everybody's seeing up there, and I'm like, okay, and what's crazy is I'm trying to make myself see a black dot or something up there on the thing. I was like, is it really? Yeah, it could be. A long time ago, I got a ticket from one of those cameras, and it came in the mail. And when I looked at it, I was like, this ain't me. No, ain't no way. They ain't my car. And I put it down. And then I came back, I looked at it, and I was like, no, ain't me. I put it down. I came back a little bit later, and I started studying it. And I was like, damn, maybe that looks like that does look like an H. And yeah, that could be a C. Yeah, that's an N. What I had missed or what I didn't see the couple times before, now my mind was saying, yes, that is exactly what I see. That's what I see. I'm like, yeah, they got me. They got me. And that's what I was trying to do with the water tower. I was like, here I am looking at a faraway video on my computer. And I'm like this on my computer. Trying to say, is that somebody up there? You know?
Well, I'll tell you, I've known some snipers. And one of the biggest things in being a sniper is concealing yourself.
That is true.
So if they were up there, if they were going to kill the president, they're going to go all in, however they're doing it. He could have been wearing all clothes the same color as that tower.
He could have.
You know, there's all kind of different ways that he could have concealed himself. But and again, they're not incompetent, man. The Secret Service is, I mean, they're not as good as they used to be. They got problems because all DEI agencies have problems. But they got people that have been in there 25 years that know what they're doing.
Right.
Well, yeah, I was going to say some of these agencies, their ineffectiveness is actually a feature, not a flaw, to the people that want to exploit them. Like the power players, they still know who in the CIA, FBI can get things done. And it's like, yeah, we can't get the DEI hire on this one. Let's bring out the good sniper, you know. But I mean, and the story of this kid, we're 8 days out and we have no answers on this kid. Come on.
Yeah. He flew a drone. Drone was part of the security briefings these guys had.
Right.
I mean, they should have shot it out of the air with a shotgun.
Well, I'm just thinking how in all the world of all the technology of all the things do we have, they haven't been able to connect any dots on this kid yet.
Because it was all set up, man. This whole
that's
thing,
what I mean.
I'm going to my death saying that. I don't care what kind of fake evidence comes out.
But then again, that brings me back to what I said before about that. This only makes me more worried if he gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they allowed that, no telling what they were allowed for when he gets in.
You talked about the rally, the Michigan rally. I saw a picture of that and I cringed, man. I'm like, get out of that podium, man. Go home.
One of the representatives that was the person who I was speaking to yesterday, and I hope she's watching. When all this was happening, when the stuff in Butler was happening, after everything is over, I was like, why didn't they arrest him off stage? Why was I mean, and I understand they were on him, but when you're on him and you're like a sand dune on top, all you had to do is pop, 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 pop.
I mean, a 30-yard six to go through three people.
Exactly. Right. And that's what one of the House representatives were saying. They said the same thing I was saying. Why didn't they get him off the stage? That's what you've done for past presidents. Right.
Because he's not supposed to be alive right now. That was the plan.
And I hate the fact that the bottom line, the absolute maximum thing that's going to happen to anybody, one Secret Service agent will get fired or something like that. These people should be in prison the rest of their lives. Everybody involved, everybody that was on that stage that knew. I mean, now there's some people there, I'm sure, that didn't know what was going on. They weren't in on it. But the people that were in on it, you can prove that they're in on it, and they ought to be eliminated. You know,
right? Well, yeah. I mean, I want to go back to the Russiagate people and the people that promulgated that hoax. They all belong in Gitmo. You know, let's start there. Let's go all the way up to the assassination attempt on President Trump. Lock up all the criminals involved in all that between those 2 points. I'm good. Gitmo 2.0.
Wait, all the criminals in what again?
Start with Russiagate. The Russian hoax was the full exposure to the American. I mean, some of us knew the government was corrupt and all that, but I think if you look at the timeline we've been living in recently, Russiagate was the initial deep state hoax where politicians and investigative agencies and all those people were like exposed themselves that they would do anything to stop the duly elected president. And it just continues to today. Thank God Trump moved his head. I mean, they didn't want him to. They didn't think he would, you know.
Thank God moved his head.
Right. Yeah.
Man, that close. The only person, I mean, and it probably could have happened to other people in history, but the only other time that I remember something like that happening was when the woman stabbed Martin Luther King, and when they rushed him to the hospital, the doctor said if he had coughed, he would have died.
Right.
That's how close the blade had got.
Remember Reagan? They had an exploding bullet inside him.
We didn't know it was that bad with Reagan until years later, you know, and Alexander Haig got up there, but we didn't know he said he was in charge. I remember I was a little kid watching this dude because everybody was like, "Where's the vice president? Where's the vice president? Where's Bush?" And nobody knew. He was probably in the bathroom, but nobody knew. Nobody knew where Bush was. And Alexander Haig got out there with all those people.
He was the chief of staff.
At this time, I am in charge. Everybody was like, wait, what did he say? Did he say he was in? And nobody corrected him. But
I'm a little bit older than you, so I remember Haig as being like the commander-in-chief of NATO.
Exactly. That's where he got his bones, you know. Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about with that. This hearing is, I tweeted earlier, I'm not going to let myself be triggered by this hearing because I know exactly where they're going with it. This is campaign material too, by the way. Y'all do know that. Most of all this stuff is going to be cut.
You can see the sound clips getting ready for the ads.
Yeah. Years ago, we didn't have House members and senatorial members with YouTube accounts so that they can put their clips on so that you can go and see them yelling at the witness. See, we are holding them accountable. This is what I had to say. Go to my YouTube channel and find out what I had to say.
Right. Find out what I did.
Now we have it. John Quest says this hearing is more political theater to keep people entertained and to make it look like our government is doing something when nothing will actually be done. This woman is taking it, and then she's going back to her seat and she's going to cuss them out in her office, and then she's going to have a nice lunch with a couple of office leaders. Yeah. And
then she's going to go to her brand new beach house that they just gave her.
Yep.
We're sorry that you had to go through that, but here's the payoff.
See, now, I think that this comment here, I think that's what I keep thinking about during this show today. It's like, how long are we going to keep eating this? How long before people say, you know what? Nobody in Washington's going to do anything. We got to go down there.
Yep.
Something's going to happen. I'm telling you that's in our future.
Well, when we talked earlier about how there's people on the right just as militant as people on the left, the difference is the people on the right are effective operators. They've hunted, they have military experience. People on the left are Antifa with plastic shields made out of garbage cans. So when you wake the sleeping giant, good luck.
Yeah, they're fantasizing about a fantasy war. We're sitting here saying we know what it is. We don't want to do this, but you're leaving us little choice.
Yep.
We're not going to be your slave.
But I think most of your radical right, your radical left is in Congress. I don't think it's really
Congress and college.
College.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the Summer of Love. I mean, to me, that was eye-opening. You let millions of people maraud across cities all across the nation, doing whatever they want. If you spoke out against it, you were ostracized from civil society. Kamala Harris still has her tweet up saying, support the Minneapolis Freedom Front. They were burning down Minneapolis and they arrested people, and Kamala Harris raised money for the people that burned my city down.
And that's what I'm talking about.
And that tweet's still up.
The Democrat leaders enable those college people to do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They made them. They invented them.
Right.
But the people on our side, the so-called radical people on our side aren't in the leadership. They're on the ground. They're us. Okay. Because if we had radical people, well, actually, you do have a few radical people there, but they don't control the leadership that's up there. Okay. But the more the radical people are on our side, down here below, because you can see them on social media all the time. This is what I'm going to do. This is what we should be doing and whatnot. And then you have the people up there. They're like, okay.
But I'm not. Think about it this way: how many? There might be 10% of us that pay attention like we do, and make up the political conversation. I'm talking about the regular people, the people that aren't even watching this show.
Yeah.
You know how long are they going to take this when they shoot?
I agree.
They shoot our guy. It's $13 for breakfast at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, gas is $4 a gallon.
I was going to say, everybody needs to go watch Braveheart, the movie. Because right now there's a whole lot of William Wallaces. They're out tending their farm, raising their kids, getting annoyed at what's going on. And they just keep poking the bear. And
I went to Walmart yesterday, and it looked like the United Nations. It was freaking so many foreigners in there. And the part that got me, it's like I'm looking at these people. It's like they're going on a shopping spree with my money.
Right.
That's how I felt with AM radio. And years ago, you used to hear regular news stations and stuff, and now all of a sudden,
Cinco.
You think that you're in Mexico. Yeah. You think that you're in Honduras. It's like, wait a minute. Did I just hear a call for war in there? Whatnot? Real quick. Chumpa. This Kamala Harris thing isn't going away anytime soon. So, we're gonna pull away from that, but believe me, it's going to be around for a long time, especially for the next couple of weeks. But while we say that, Red Beach Nation provides conservative apparel and beachwear for freedom-loving Americans. Whether you live at the beach or are traveling to one, or just want to imagine yourself there, Red Beach's comfy, patriotic apparel is sure to lift your spirits. Founded by a former counterterrorism officer and war veteran of both the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, Red Beach Nation is committed to upholding the American values and principles that we all hold so dear. And the best part, the merchandise isn't going to get you into a fight or shut it down as you go about your day. Red Beach Nation is just pure Americana, not shirts that are designed to spark outrage. So come live the sand, surf and turf freedom style with us. See, they got commas where I'm supposed to break and it don't sound right. It's supposed to be one sentence like that. Head on over to redbeachnation.com and use promo code Wayne to save 10% off of your order. Again, that's redbeachnation.com and use promo code Wayne to save 10% off of your order.
So let's face it, the current geopolitical situation isn't great. And under this administration, the economy hasn't exactly inspired confidence. As a result, Americans like you are concerned about their retirement savings, and for good reason. But there's good news out there. Gold has held its value since the dawn of mankind, and it's mentioned in every book of the Bible. As a faith-driven precious metals company, Genesis Gold Group helps Americans protect their life savings from the threats facing our nation. And here's what I love about them. They don't do gimmicks like the big gold companies and insult your intelligence with absurd claims of $10,000 in free silver. Instead, they actually want customers to be fully aware of all their options, not just the ones that benefit the seller, and they educate you all along the way. Get your free definitive gold guide to get started and learn more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times. Visit treasureandtrust.com now, fill out the basic contact form, and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com.
These are perforated silver pieces that, remember, we have talked about on the show. You get to a place where all hell is broken loose and we don't have electronics and stuff, and you have silver, you have to give somebody all your silver just for a hot dog, or all your silver just for a head of lettuce. With these, with treasureandtrust.com, you're able to break off pieces of the silver and give people the quantity? Is that what you get?
Smaller denominations.
Smaller denominations. You can do that with treasureandtrust.com. You know, we were talking about polling numbers and stuff like that. CNN had a little breakdown. I'm sure this is going to make some.
And Steve, all along the polls were really neck and neck between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, although there had been some slippage for President Biden after that debate. How does Kamala Harris fare against the former president?
I mean, the short answer is not really any better. Take a look at this. This is the average of all the polls you're talking about there since the debate that tested Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Trump 47%, Harris 46%. In this same set of polls, when it was Joe Biden, 47% for Trump and 45% for Biden. So the Democratic number on average goes up from 45 to 46. But I think it underscores for Democrats, they view this move as something that's going to improve their chances in the general election. That is based more on hope than it is on the numbers right now, because you go another level deep in this and you've got the favorable, unfavorable, basic impression people have of these candidates here. For Joe Biden, look, these numbers have looked like this for a long time. Very, very bad numbers. 36 favorable, 57 unfavorable. Again, this in average of polls over the last month. So what's the difference with Kamala Harris? Again, not much of a difference, from 36 favorable to 38, 57 unfavorable down to 52. But that's still a majority of voters saying they have an unfavorable impression of Kamala Harris. Throw up Donald Trump's numbers there for comparison. He's at 41 favorable, 55 unfavorable. All three of these figures with majorities of voters saying they are unfavorably impressed by them. So again, from the Democratic standpoint here, they think Harris being reintroduced as a presidential candidate, getting a different look. They think these numbers can't.
Roger Stone when I was talking about him and Tommy Lahren, and I said Tommy Lahren was wrong. My friend Roger Stone was wrong. It's going to be Kamala Harris. Roger Stone said, yeah, it's going to be Kamala until they realize that her poll numbers.
They've been saying that CNN clip you just played, that's classic programming. For the last year, we've been hearing that from CNN, we've been hearing Kamala Harris underpolls Joe Biden. Biden polls better than Kamala Harris. I've been hearing that for a year. And now they come out with that. Anybody who buys that's nuts.
I hate polls. Other than Rich Barris, I don't believe in polls. I've said it a million times. They see numbers we don't see in these campaigns. They see the real numbers.
That's why
whatever
Joe's
you
gone.
see on CNN. That's the only reason they replaced Joe. Is his numbers were so bad they couldn't even cheat to win.
That's why I'm not banking on Kamala Harris alone.
Right.
Kamala
I started
Harris,
that out. I started the show
suck.
with that. She's going to get switcherooed because they switched Joe out. Joe, your numbers didn't bounce back. They got worse. They keep getting worse. Let's throw in Kamala. She's going to get a bump. But if she can't carry that into the convention, magically something's going to happen. They're going to find a way to do the switcheroo. And they're going to keep
don't forget,
switching.
Obama is playing on home turf,
right,
in Washington D.C. and in Chicago,
right.
I still think that she, because as long as you can keep her away from one-on-one interviews and just have her read, she's going to be fine going into the convention.
Oh yeah,
if you have her off the cuff,
right?
Yeah, if you have her off the cuff, then it's going to sound really like, I like Venn diagrams. That's what she says all the time. But again, before the show, I watched her. She looked presidential to me, standing up there, reading. I was like, well, damn, okay.
An interesting thing to watch too. Half the time when I've watched Kamala Harris, when she's really said those stupid things about school buses and Venn diagrams, she looked hammered. I mean, she looked like Nancy Pelosi in the morning when you can tell Nancy's all vodka up. And when I watch Kamala and she's slurring and glassy eyed, and I mean, she's just not stupid, but she might have a real problem.
Pelosi didn't endorse her either.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, both of those. You want to know? You know who I think ran Barack Obama? It was Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid ran Barack Obama when he was in there. Why do I say that? Because they already had their agenda before. Now Obama had his agenda too with homosexuals and stuff like that. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say.
Muslims.
And the Muslims things happened under Bush too, because Bush was like, they're peaceful people.
Oh yeah,
don't get mad, don't look at them bad, don't and all that stuff. But to bring him in there, there was an old saying within many black voters that a lot of the stuff that that happened under Barack Obama, you couldn't do that under a white president. That they used him as that conduit,
100%,
to bring all that stuff, starting from Obamacare. I think in my lifetime, I've never seen the Congress give almost a blank check to a president
and the media.
They gave him, a literal blank check. I'm not talking about in nature. They said, spend how much money that you want to need to get all this stuff done for defense not defense, for whatever he was doing and stuff. You have until the end of the year. And he had like maybe 13 or 14 months left. And they said, there you go. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Y'all would just give him the keys to really do it. And then there's, how the homosexuals are. But when Pelosi and Harry Reid, and Harry Reid got beat up and stuff, and he got kicked off the stage. But Nancy Pelosi has always been at the head of certain stuff. As long as she's been in charge, she's like, and now she's really like, I give it over to Hakeem Jeffries. And now we're seeing her telling Biden, you got to step down.
She's running Hakeem Jeffries too.
I was going to say Nancy Pelosi,
and he hasn't endorsed yet either.
Nancy Pelosi is one of the most effective political operators we've ever seen.
We got to give it to her.
Right.
We have to give it.
Her and Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell too.
They're
assassins, man.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
And I hate both of them, but they are effective.
Right. Yeah. But Hakeem Jeffries hasn't endorsed either.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I never took him serious.
Yeah, as I was telling my friend yesterday, dude wears lipstick. I ain't gonna take him serious.
Yeah.
She said he does. I said, yeah, he does. Yeah. Pink, hot pink.
Damn.
Nikki Haley said, "Oh, if Donald Trump is the nominee, we will see President Kamala Harris."
She said that in the campaign.
Yeah, she said that in the campaign.
Appreciate it, Nikki.
Somebody sent that to me. But yeah, her one of her PACs came out and said that they were sending their stuff.
Listen to Nikki because she's so successful.
Well, this just in. Nikki's PACs were never going to support President Trump, period. They would vote for Joe Biden. They would vote for a corpse. They would vote for whoever the Democrat nominee is. They were
everybody up there on the Republican debate stage, with the exception of Ramaswamy, was the anti-Trump vote.
Right.
That was their most important mission. It's the only reason they humiliated themselves like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Let's see, Democrats forgo iceberg. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at so many people have had. Yesterday was it was crazy. So many people had so many things to say, and I'm sitting back there. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I sort of felt it reinvigorated yesterday. I was like, here we go, man. Here we go. We got to fight. You know, America gets to see more of the crap that is happening. Good. You know,
I hope the Democrats go eye to eye with each other. Man, I hope they drag this out. I hope Obama got a little bit of juice left.
I just will love to see the reaction. Like, I have Democrat friends, I've talked about them on the show, where their reality has been just like flipped and flopped and flip flop and floppity when you flip over the past like 30, 60, 90 days. I mean, 35 days ago, Joe Biden was the sharpest he's ever been, and he's a statesman. And then he was decrepit, some people thought, and you were dumb if you thought that, and Joe Biden was the greatest. And now Kamala Harris, like people want to get a tattoo of Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, in the middle of that, the assassination of Donald Trump, that is the most smelly thing ever. And like, people's brains are just got to be like, what in the hell is going on?
We got to go to the media center because something happened where, now, believe me, and I am not defending this Secret Service person at all. Not 1%. But Representative Conley, who was a Democrat, the Democrats tried to turn this into a guns thing.
Yeah, that's what all of it. That's why I had to turn it off.
And I turned it off after Conley because I was like, where's he going with? And then I understood what he was trying to do. Now I got to give it to her that she didn't fall into that trap. I want y'all to watch him.
Of your agencies, right? It's made it less complicated. Isn't that true?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question.
Real simple. More guns, especially dangerous ones, have made your job protecting people easier. Is that not right?
I think from every
direct the cheater. This is simple English. More guns, do they make your job more complicated or less complicated in protecting these 36 clients and visiting heads of state and heads of government that come to Washington?
I think the Secret Service needs to take into account.
I didn't ask that.
They're in.
I'm sorry. I asked a simple question, which deserves a simple answer. The ubiquity of guns, dangerous weapons in America, like AR-15s, has that made your job, that is to say the mission of the Secret Service, easier or more difficult?
I think the threat environment for protecting our Secret Service protectees is always difficult, and that's dynamic, and it's always evolving.
We stipulate it's always difficult. Again, this is a simple one. Does the ubiquity of guns make your job easier or more difficult today?
I understand the Second Amendment rights of individuals.
I didn't ask that question. I'm not questioning the Second Amendment. I'm asking a simple analysis, Director Cheadle. And I can tell you,
he's trying hard.
You're not making my job easier in terms of assessing
the word
your qualification for continuing on as director. Please answer the question. You're the head of the Secret Service.
It's not her
You're speaking
job.
on behalf of 8,000 members who put their lives on the line. We just had a failure by your own admission. Do guns make your job easier or harder?
Easier.
I think the job of the Secret Service is difficult on every day, and we need to make sure that we are mitigating all threats, whether that be
That
weapons.
isn't my question.
I got to give it to her. She
did good on that.
She stood up for Second Amendment rights and would not allow him to have that moment, which is cool.
And you know, anybody that knows anything about weapons, you could have taken the cheapest bolt action rifle with one bullet up on that roof, and you could have put it right there, that guy that close.
Yeah, if you've ever hunted, 150 yards ain't nothing, ain't no thing, you know.
Which brings me to this before we leave. There was no way he could have shot at Trump. That's my thing. If he was laying on the other side of the ridge, there's no way he could have did it. He would have shot into the building, but where he was down on the slope, there's no way he could shoot over the hump. Now, if y'all want to talk about the second and third shooter, okay, bring in the second and third shooter. But if it's like this and he's right here and that hump is right there, you can't shoot through the building at Trump. You have to go up to.
Started up on the thing, but then when the sniper put one between his eyes.
Did you see a video of him going all the way up to the top? Of all the videos that we've seen, he was in the bottom half of that slope thing. He was down here. Nobody ever showed him on a video, and there were many videos that he was never up here. You know, unless it was on the side. Unless the building was on the side. And Chuck and Hutch, you said that you drove over that way or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Did you see the building?
I've seen.
I'm surprised the building is still standing. To tell you the truth,
it's owned by BlackRock.
I was gonna say I gotta
the building
check
is on
after the show.
There you go.
I gotta check after the show. One of my business partners sent it to me, but Eli Crane's on top of the building right now, live streaming.
See what?
Eli Crane is on top of that building right now as the show's going on, live streaming it.
Yeah,
like showing the angle.
He's trying to show people you can't shoot through the top of the building. You have to be at the top, and we haven't seen one video of him being at the top. We just see him below, unless he picked his head up, and when he picked his head up, they shot his head off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he would have had to been over it for him to get shot.
Right. Otherwise, they would have shot through the roof.
And somebody shot President Trump's ear off.
Right.
Right.
That whole thing.
I just wish we could ever know what happened for
not only just know what happened, but people held accountable.
Right.
I'm so sick of everybody in Washington getting away with whatever they want to do. Every single one. None of them. The only people in jail are January 6 people, and they're not even in the government.
Yep.
Well, Nancy Pelosi just endorsed Kamala Harris.
Ooh. This is getting spicy.
Today, Buck responds, it's done. Today it is with immense pride and limitless optimism for our country's future that I endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for President of the United States. My enthusiastic support for Kamala Harris for president is official, personal, and political. She's a nominee. I don't care what Barack Obama has to say right now. She is the nominee for the Democrat Party, and she is going to pick a VP candidate from either Pennsylvania or North Carolina. Cooper, I don't know his name, but it's been a friend of hers. That's what the media is saying. I thought she was going to probably pick a Latino socialist, but that's just the way it's going to go. And then people don't get mad at me. But if she wins, there'll be a scandal, and you move her.
Oh, she's temporary.
There'll be a scandal to move her out of there, and the next thing you know, some of the senators I was watching yesterday, some of the senators reason why they really got rid of why they came out first to tell Joe, because it seems like they were polling better than Joe in their states. But over the last couple of weeks, their numbers have been coming down, and that's why they said, Joe, you got to get out. You got to get out because you're hurting the senator side. But I'm going to give my boys their final thoughts. We got a lot to talk about for the rest of the week. Believe me, everything's going to be changing tonight. Everything's going to be changing tomorrow. It's a good day. It's a good day for podcasts or broadcast, and we're here for it. Hutch Bailey, well, you can tell about yours so that they can listen to you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Go.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. Buckle up. We've been saying for months, you are going to see more things than you've ever seen, and it's going to change on a dime. Be ready. It's going to be wild. And I just want to reflect on the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago on Saturday, I was out with some friends, my wife and I look at my phone and I saw a text. Oh, President Trump had an assassination attempt. And then this week I'm out with some different buddies. We're out at a park and I look at my phone on Saturday at whatever time. Oh, Joe Biden dropped out. Like those are things you never see in a lifetime.
Exactly.
And I saw it in subsequent Saturdays.
That is amazing. It is amazing.
It's just the start.
Keep your eyes wide open. Nothing's set in stone here.
Right.
I'm telling you, everybody that's supporting Kamala Harris thought Biden was A-OK a week ago. It's just the way it is. Another little nugget. Oh, by the way, Cold War Radio, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on rumble.com, or you can catch the podcast anywhere there's podcasts. But just something to keep in mind and maybe start looking into. There's questions as to Kamala Harris's eligibility to be president. Her parents were not natural-born citizens when she was born. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure somebody's going to pick that up. And
I remember that.
We'll find out. Even though that doesn't matter. I mean, you can run for president. Whoever can run. They can put illegal aliens.
John McCain.
Well, we should talk about that tomorrow because this is very relevant, especially with the work we've done exposing the CCP. And Cenk Uygur, we had mentioned him. I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
All right, y'all. God bless. Welcome.